Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we are solving number of steps to reduce a number in binary representation to 1. So in this problem, we will give a binary representation of an integer as string s, and we want to return this number of steps to reduce that number to 1 under these rules. If the current number is even, we have to divide by 2. If it is odd, we need to add 1 to it. So if we look at this example, the starting number would be 13. So if it's odd, we need to add 1, and then it's 14. So now we have to divide by 2, becomes 7, odd, so add back to 8. It's even, so we have to divide by 2 to 4. 4 is still even, we got to divide by 2 again, and 2 is even, so divide by 2, and now it is 1. It took 6 steps, so we return 6. Now if we look at this example, the number is originally 2, so we have to divide by 2 for it to be 1, so it took 1 step, so we return 1, and finally this is 1 already, so it doesn't take any steps, so we can return 0. So now that we have seen some examples, let's get to how we can solve this problem. So there's actually a very interesting way that we can solve this problem. So basically we will ignore the first element, but we look at everything else from the back to front. If it's a 0, then it's one operation, because if you really think about it, we're just dividing by 2, which is just the same as removing 1 0. And as you can see, there are 5 zeros here, so it will take 5 operations to get to 1, because every 0 removal is every division by 2. Now if it is 1, it will take 2 operations, and we need to carry the 1, because if you think about it, if it's a 1, that means we will have to add 1, which will make it a 0. So now the number will have to look something like this, and then we carry the 1. So now when we are here, it is still a 1 because we carry the 1 and the original number 0. So it will take 2 operations again. So 2 operations here, 2 operations here. So for this problem, once we carry the 1, we will carry 1 to every other number. So as we can see, we add 2 here, and at the end, the carry is 1. So we have to do it again. And as you can see, add 1, divide by 2, add 1, divide by 2, and then carry the 1 again. So it will take 5 steps. Now finally, if the digit is 2, it's actually one operation. So as we can see right here, be 1 2 0 after we add the 1. So it will take 2 operations right there. And once you're here, if it's 2, it's actually one operation, because technically if you think about it, 1 2 0 is basically 1 1 0 0, because the 2 will carry over to the larger digit. But then again, we have to carry the 1, so we have to add 1 in the very end. So as you can see right here, add 1, divide by 2 here, and the carry over to the end, divide by 2 again. So it'll take 4 steps. So to sum it up, what we can do is initialize result to 0 and carry to 0, and we will iterate from the end of string to the second element. As you can see over here, we never worry about what's in the first element. And now we will calculate sum, so it will be the current character in the string plus carry. Now if the number we're at is 1, add 2 to result, set carry to 1. If it's 2 or 0, we just add 1 to result, and notice that we don't set carry back to 0. So that's what I was saying right here. Once we carry the 1, carry always be equal to 1, and in the end we need to return the result plus carry, because sometimes we carry over to result and we need to make sure we add the extra 1. So let's go over this example real quick. So first we are here, 1 plus the carry of 0 is 1. It is odd, so we increment result by 2 and set carry to 1. 0 plus the carry of 1 is 1, so we add result by 2 again, and carry remains at 1. 1 plus the carry of 1 is 2, so we just increment result by 1. And now that we are at the end, we need to make sure we add the carry of 1 to result, and then we can return 6 as our result. And as you can see, it actually takes 6 steps to get it to 1. So the time complexity would be O of n, where n is the number of elements in the string, because that's the number of strings we have to iterate through. And the space complexity would be O of 1, because the size of these variables will not depend on the size of the input. So now let's get to the coding part. So first we can initialize result to 0 and carry to 0. And now we will iterate backwards, and we don't look at the first element, so it will be length of s minus 1 to 0 and increment by -1. Now the digit will be the integer plus carry. If it is odd, meaning if it is 1, we increment result by 2 and set carry to 1. And if it is even, meaning 0 or 2, just increment by 1. And finally, we will return result plus carry. See if it works. Okay, perfect. Thank you all for watching. Hope this was helpful. If you have any other questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section, and I hope to see you all again soon.